Good day everyone for skiers. In this video I'm going to teach you how to start skiing by answering the internet's most searched for 15 questions about equipment, how to learn to ski, where to ski, and a bit about safety. Let's get started. Why should I start skiing, you might wonder. It's just because it's the funnest freaking sport ever. Imagine swooshing down the mountain at speed, experiencing G-forces through this mountain landscape with your best friends. What could be better than this? In simple terms, what you need to start skiing is ski boots, waterproof clothing, gloves, sunglasses or goggles, a helmet, poles and skis. Not much more than that. Quite a few pieces actually. Gonna look more in detail on that soon on the budget of skiing. It's tricky to advise if you should rent or not, but it's often quite an affordable way to get started. For a week, you can expect to spend something around $300 to get skis, boots and poles rented to you. So if you ski more than a couple of weeks per year, it's worthwhile thinking about buying equipment. But if you want to be really comfortable, you can immediately, if you think you're gonna ski, a few days a year, is to buy ski boots, because it's the most important part of your equipment. If your feet hurt, it's no fun. All right, let's figure out how much it costs to start skiing for 3 days. We're gonna look at this at 3 levels. Ski with what you got and get secondhand gear, and then as good gear as you can possibly get, what I typically ski with. Let's get started with the first level. For the base layer, we got Guardians of the Galaxy socks. Not designed for skiing, a bit too short to go all the way up through my ski boots. But beggars can't be choosers. And a pair of sweatpants and my cotton t-shirt. Cotton is terrible for skiing. If you get wet, you get cold. And next layer, for mid layer, we got a button-up shirt and this sweet vest. Can't believe this is the only stuff I own that is not designed for skiing. Next layer. For the final layer, we got rain pants and rain jacket. 2 pieces of equipment almost anyone on earth has at home because it rains everywhere. It doesn't snow. This can be good enough to go skiing in. And for the last couple of pieces, we got the following. And then we got a climbing helmet. Don't recommend it, not very safe for skiing. We have bike sunglasses, bike gloves, and for a ski backpack, a tote bag. Can bring some snacks to the mountain. And with this, I'm pretty much ready to go ski, as long as I go to the rental shop first. The total for the equipment cost, including rent, is here, 207 euros, which I think is quite a good deal. Plus another 190 in lift tickets. And for ski lessons, we're gonna go for YouTube tutorials. It's dodgy, but hey, it's cheap. Let's look at the second-hand cost of buying your equipment and going skiing with some group lessons. First of all, socks, don't get that second hand. Then thermals, I found a sweet deal, including a top, mid-layer, puffer, ski jacket, ski pants, backpack, helmet, goggles, gloves, ski boots, custom insoles, never mind, booster strap, never mind, P-skis in 165 centimeters at $165, poles 30. Total equipment cost 722, 3-day lift ticket 190, ski lessons 264 for 2 hours a day for 3 days. Accommodation 202, and we get in on a total cost of $1,378 for 3 days. And the cost per day is going to go down the more you go ski as the equipment cost gets lower over time. Let's look at what it costs to go ski in the same gear that I go in every day, which is as good as it gets. And for extra warmth, a merino hoodie from Icebreaker and packable puffer jacket. Next level. Boom, that's a lot of money quickly. And to that, we also gotta remember to add some lift tickets with posh accommodation and 3 days of private ski lessons. Yikes, that is way more than my car. So the lesson from this little segment is that you can get started skiing really quite cheaply if you're smart about it. With your own stuff, with the second hand, and even if you go for great equipment like I'm using, you could probably use it for about a decade for the average recreational skier. Next question. How to choose your gear. My number 1 piece of advice for you is to go to a legitimate ski shop and let them advise you. They can do a better job than I can on this video. But here's my 5 cents. Choosing the right pole. This is a standard advice. Hold under the basket, 90 degrees there. But for a beginner, That's quite a lot. It's quite high up. I think it's too long. I would recommend something like this. That it goes down a little bit your arm, so you have less of a mess, less likely to like ski into the pole and get hurt, because that can easily happen. Or even better, get telescope poles if you have the budget for it, and you can choose the length depending on what kind of skiing you're doing. To choose the right boot, you have to go to a ski shop, ideally a good one where they can help you measure your foot, how wide it is, how long it is, how high it is. You get to try a bunch of boots they think might fit you. Normal shops actually love it when you go online shopping, because you're going to buy the wrong ones and come to them, spend a bunch of money on changing the boot, and then eventually probably buy a different boot from them. The two things to have in mind when you buy ski boots is, number one, they need to be comfortable. And when you flex them, that you're squashing them forward a little bit, that you feel like you have a little bit of give in them, or they might be too stiff for you. How to choose the right ski for you. This is incredibly difficult, but a couple of ideas are, number one, as a beginner, definitely start renting. So you can start with something silly short, maybe down here, like the collarbone. Because with a very short ski, it's much easier to handle at first. And then maybe for the second day of skiing, you can rent something a little bit taller. And for the third day, something even taller, while you end up around the chin maybe to the eyebrows, depending on the type of the ski. As you see, these skis have a very long nose and a short tail. They're very good for turning. And then this ski, it's a freestyle ski. It has a very long nose, and you mount it in the middle, making it a bit less good for turning, but better for riding backwards and doing cool tricks. And because you mount it in the middle, typically a ski like this, you should have a fair bit taller, more the direction of your head, maybe eyebrows too. And as a disclaimer, all three of these skis are probably wrong for you. This is for the best skiers in the world. It's a World Cup slalom ski. And the blue one is almost as aggressive. And with aggressive, it means it's extremely stiff. And if you start skidding, it's going to go bam, bam, bam. Like do a little kind of cutting into the snow in a very uncomfortable manner. So you want something a bit more soft, that the nose is bent up easier, and also that it twists a little bit like this, called torsional stiffness. A bit less of that, making them more forgiving and a better time for you to ski on. The ski that is the least bad for you is probably this freestyle ski. Although it's designed for like pretty elite skiers, it's not too stiff, it's not too aggressive compared to these P skis here. Although I do recommend you should probably get going in your ski career with a beginner-friendly P ski. The painful boots checklist. First of all, you want to make sure that just the socks, do you feel smooth? And then you want to do a plastic check. So open all the buckles and inspect. Try to do that in the beginning when you start skiing, the inside, and then do outside over it. Because you can actually get them all, you know, a little bit in a twist, in the wrong order. Check the tongue, that it's straight towards your leg. Nothing fancy is going on, okay? So that is not the reason why we're experiencing foot pain. The next one is the buckle check. And the buckles, like they call it a one finger closure. That was a bit too tight actually. And you just twist it briefly, maybe 2 laps. Boom, now it's pretty sweet. It just needs to close the boot to make it waterproof. Then the top two, you can tighten them a little bit more. And then the tongue check. This is the tongue of the liner. And you can often just tug a little bit on it or push it down a little bit to find a sweet spot where it feels the most comfortable on the top of the boot. And then lastly, you just take the booster strap and tighten it a little bit. Because here on the top now, I can still get some fingers in. I have them tight enough to control the skis really well. Your feet might just be tired. If you're a beginner skier, the feet are going to get exhausted by trying to control the skis. And I suggest you go for a break and take the liner out with your foot and use it as a shoe and let your feet just breathe a little bit, and then you take on the plastic shell again when you go skiing. If you get a hot sore spot on your foot, often on the outside of the little toe, the outside of the heel, maybe sometimes on this big bump there or on top of the foot, it's like sore and hot, it's time to go to boot fitter and they can stretch and punch out the plastic so that you can fit your uniquely shaped feet. Let's talk about how your ski gear works. First of all, the ski boots has this nice lip in the front and in the back. So with some aim, you put the toes in first, then the heel down. And the foot is now secured to the ski. And if you fall sideways you might pop out sideways to the front of the boot. If you fall forwards, you might pop out of the back of the boot upwards. So if you fall forward, boom, it comes out. But if you fall and it pops out sideways, you can't put on the boot again when the binding looks like this. You need to press this one back down. Boom. And then the binding has something called a din scale. It's a number in the front and in the back. People often falsely think that a 6 means 60 kilo skier, but it's a bit more than that. It's also about how long you are and the size of your boots. So always let a professional set up your bindings. The din scale, but also something called up and down settings that some bindings have. And this little screw at the bottom in the back for the forward pressure, and it needs to be flush against like the house of the binding. And if it's not, take the ski to a shop immediately and have them readjust it for you. The pole is quite simple. You put the hand in from the bottom, then up and grab it. Or it's even safer if you don't even use the strap. You will be less likely to break a thumb. Then the ski turns by bending in the following way. The ski is shaped like an hourglass, where it's thicker in the front, more narrow in the middle and thicker in the back. And that makes the following cool thing, that if we put some pressure on it here, the ski bends quite a lot. And this bend creates a turn, what we often call carved skiing, which is quite difficult for you at the moment. But that's one of the ways the ski turns. The other way it turns is by putting more pressure on the front of the ski, which means less pressure in the back. So the back is going to skid away, making a skidded turn. And this is the main technique we do snowplow turns early on in our ski careers. The best way to learn to ski is with a professional ski instructor. Take a group lesson, they're pretty affordable, and do that for the first couple of mornings. If you don't have the budget for that, and you can go ski in a designated beginners area with like a magic carpet conveyor belt, that's an acceptable place to teach yourself some of the basic techniques, but with a high likelihood of you teaching yourself some bad habits. You can check out this video for a comprehensive guide on how to do that yourself. An amazing thing about skiing is how easy it is to get started. If you're sporty, after just a 3-hour morning, you can often graduate from a beginner's area to the easiest slopes on the mountain. But skiing is shockingly hard to master. It'll take a lifetime to get great at it. And this is wonderful. It means that you can keep feeling improvement for years to come. It is so much fun. Once you learn to ski parallel down a red run, you're welcome to join one of the Ski Technique Camps Rattles, where we combine expert level 4 ski instructors, carve, video analysis to push your skiing to the next level. Before you go and teach yourself, find a beginner's area like here, where it's extremely flat. Because you'll get all the bad habits in the book if you start on too steep terrain. This is key. So, feet shoulder width apart roughly, twist the feet together to create a little wedge. A wedge like this is good, a wedge like that, not so good, because it's going to make you back-seated and develop all the bad habits you don't want to have. Let's go for a ski. Use your poles as a push off a little bit. Try to have that good athletic stance with a little bit of pressure in your shins. Can let them go into parallel again. Just go on like that a few times before you try our first turns. So imagine you're standing in a snowplow like such. Shin pressure still. If we put more pressure on this ski by shifting the weight to it, we're going to start turning that way. Just like this. It starts turning immediately. And then we shift the weight to this one. And we're going to change direction there. And when you get started, just start with very gentle turns. As the longer they are, the easier they are. So by shifting the weight, we make the skis turn. And we also make the inside ski very light, making it possible to steer the skis from a wedge to parallel at the end of the turns. So I just shift the weight onto the ski and it makes the skis go down the hill. Then shift the weight again. Makes it go that way. Weight, that way. It's really not that hard to do a snowplow turn. It could be learned within just some hours. And once you get a little bit better, you can start letting the inside ski also come back to parallels. Thanks to that you have all the weight on this one, it's really easy to make the inside ski go parallel. Weight, boom. It's not much harder than that. Give it a few hours. Before you're able to do parallel turns, a stem turn can save the day. But simply, as you traverse, push up the uphill ski, get weight onto it, and then this ski is going to take you down. You're basically skipping to do a parallel turn on the top third, which is the trickiest. Just like this, press onto it, and it goes. And then you steer the inside ski into parallel. Let's try a few. Stem it out, and then rotate it. And the key here is to dare to move enough weight onto the stemming ski so that you don't have much weight on the inside ski. Because with little weight you can easily twist it, right? And once the terrain gets really steep, you can also use this at occasions to dare to start a turn. Another important thing is when you do this is that you have some patience, so the turn is long and round. Makes it much easier. The main common mistake here is that people go too wide with the stem and end up really back-seated. Stem as little as you need, where you still can have some shin pressure, and they're easier. You can get the weight onto the outside. Side slipping, absolutely crucial skill when it gets steep. First of all, don't be wide. Have your feet pretty close together. It's easy to edge them in unison. And then pulse up and just unedge the skis a little bit. Put a bit of weight on the outside. And you'll start sliding down. Try stopping it. With this technique, you can actually get down any steepness. And if you start going in a direction like this forward, lean forwards. And you'll go backwards. And lean backwards, and you'll start going forwards. And this way you can actually steer your side slip. So it gets a bit steep, so maybe you want to use the side slip. And if I lean back, I'm going to start traveling this direction, thanks to the tail's gripping more. If I lean forwards, I'm going to go this way, because the noses are gripping more. And if you stand nice and centered, you should be able to ski straight down. That's the side slip for you, an absolute lifesaver of a technique for a beginner. If your speed gets out of hand before you can do a sweet hockey stop, I can recommend to ski across the slope and up the hill like a big smiley to slow you down. And you're losing some control, you're like, God, what do I do? You save the day with the J-turn. Oh, so you're skiing along and you feel you're about to fall. Just give in and lift up your skis. Then all sorts of things can happen. You can land like this, and if your head is down, you can't stand up. Uncross your skis, get your feet underneath you, across the fall line so they don't slide away. Push off with your fist, with your butt close to the bindings, and just squat to come up again. That's simple, and it's key. Don't resist a fall too much. That's why people often get hurt. If you want to keep standing up while you're falling like that, you can mess up your knees. Just lay down. Your body is a good break. Here's the best way to carry skis. First of all, lift one ski up, then in, push it down. That means you can lift the skis in that ski, but not in this one. So you always have to keep that in mind. So then you grab this ski binding, and you can just carry it like this for short distances or indoor. If there's a lot of people around you, make sure that you angle the skis more vertical and the poles too, so you don't stab anyone in the knee. Second cool way, on the shoulder for longer distances and outside. Once again, keep an eye on those stoppers, and you pull it up on your shoulder like such. Always keep an eye behind you so you don't smack anyone in the head. So keep them nice and steep, so there's no risk I'm gonna smack someone in the head right now. And the poles too, just keep them nice and tidy in one hand. And when you lower the skis, look behind you before you take the skis down like such. Or take it down in front of you with the other hand, to make sure you never ever smack a fellow skier in the head. The best time to go skiing is anytime you are keen to do so. I love all parts of the winter. I love the beginning of the winter, December, with its winter wonderland vibes. Colder, maybe icy as a challenge, or powdery can be quite challenging for a beginner. But wonderful time. And then from like late February, March, April, it can be a little bit slushy in the afternoons and ice in the mornings. But generally, like sunny, fair weather, a great time to get started. The only time I try to not go ski is during public school holidays, because it gets pretty busy then. And it's so empty in between these holiday weeks at Christmas and February. To know if a slope is beginner friendly, you need to look at the color of the slope. And as a rule of thumb that you can use almost across the entire world is look for green first. It's typically beginner areas or very easy slopes in North America. And then look for blue as a secondary one. But blues are typically a bit too hard for a beginner skier within their first couple of days of skiing, and would be better off on a green for a bit longer. The best beginner ski resort, I would argue, is the one that's the most accessible to you, where you can make it easy. Just make it a fun weekend. Ask some friends if they want to learn to ski too, or ask if some family members want to join. Go and get some ski instruction together. But if you can choose between multiple ski areas, choose the one where you can see on the slope map that has the most number of like green or blue runs are typically the ones to look for. Number one, wear a helmet, goggles, gloves. You can also wear a back protector if you want to, and proper clothing so you can slide out safely. Follow the FIS code of conduct. It's 10 rules. I summarized them in 3 so you can remember them. Number 1, never jeopardize anyone else's safety due to your skiing. So, ski in control, not too fast, give people enough space, all right? Number 2, don't let other people jeopardize your safety, meaning stop on the side of the slope, walk on the side of the slope. If you crash bang a roller, quickly get to the side so no one can ski into you. If we all did this, we'd be a lot safer on the hill. And number 3, be a good skier and help out if anyone is in trouble of any sort, accidents, or they're just maybe lost. My best tactical tips to not get injured is number 1, manage your energy levels. If you never ski before, ski 2 or 3 hours in the morning, go for lunch, be done with it. Once you get fitter, you can ski a bit in the afternoon too, but make sure you have some food and rest so you can keep skiing. Next thing is a tactical one, that avoid skiing really fast, this sort of shallow turns. Turn a little bit more across the slope and prioritize G-forces. They're actually really exciting and will make you a great skier. I'm so glad I got to share my life's great passion skiing with you. I hope you give it a try and you'll love it. Consider watching this video, YouTube think you'll love it, or join one of our ski technique camps once you're ready. See you in the next video. Ciao for now.